Hello, and welcome to this Devo Team G-Cloud Day session about Google Workspace. We had one about data, so today this session will be about the Google Workspace. We also talk about change management. We will also talk about adoption, about customer success management. So we have some topics we will address during this session. I will introduce first myself. My name is Hans, and I'm working as a digital workplace consultant. I am doing some change. We are doing some business analysis. We are doing implementations and so on. And I also present my colleague, Charlotte.
Hello, so I'm Charlotte. We're working together with Hans, and same as him, working on change management and adoption at Devo Team G-Cloud.
So what do we have on our plate for this session, for these 20 minutes, 25 minutes? We will show you a very short video, which was created by Lillian, by the way. He did a fantastic job, which is about some awesome features that Google Workspace is offering. Maybe you will discover some new features that you don't know yet. But we will also talk about how you can implement those features and how do you prepare your organization to start using them. How do you make the transformation? So it's all about change. This is the first phase in an implementation project. There will be also a second phase where we'll be talking about adoption, how to increase adoption of the users and how to increase the result of your investment. So those are the three topics that we want to discuss during this session. So Google Workspace, some of the people here present are already using them. Maybe others are looking into it and looking how they can change their actual productivity suite and maybe to change it. Lilian made a very short video of some awesome features. I need to first adopt the...
So this morning I took the car.
Resolution to have the best quality possible. I'm sorry I could not do this beforehand, but let's have a look on what a usual day at Devo Team, but maybe also for you, can look like, and how you use your devices, how you use your ecosystem, how you use your software to support your daily businesses, because that is what Google Workspace does. It helps you to support your daily business. Have a look.
So this morning I took the car and I left for work. But before starting the car, I had a short meeting with Walter. He says hi, by the way, and I shared a document with him, just using my smartphone. Arriving at the office, you know what happened. I forgot my laptop again, but you don't tell Gail. Fortunately, she was able to hand me over a Chromebook. I was just able to log in and I could continue my work. Oh, focus time notification, time for some headphone work. I review 1 or 2 mails. I add some labels. I add a task to my message. And yes, I've reached the end of my inbox. Woohoo! I use the chat space and I open the document I shared already with Walter. Here I will just add a chart from a sheet. So easy. And then I had a meeting with you, Charlotte, with the Jamboard. We shared a doc and we were able to collaborate on it. We assigned tasks, we added drop-downs. It was easy to collaborate from remote. Oh, we have another notification. Time for a coffee break. So where do I need to go? Oh, I need to go to Google. Let's find out how much time do I need. I'll be there soon. See you.
So what did you think of this video? Did you like it? Yes. So this is not actually the way I arrived here. I arrived this morning at 7:45 and it took me almost 2 hours to get here. Unfortunately, that was not the real case, but it gives you some insights how we can use Google Workspace. And this was Google Workspace at the max, I think. I don't know if you were counting the features during the video, but I think when you review the video in slow motion, you will be finding more than 20, maybe 25 features of switching devices and specific Google Workspace features. So it's really impressive to see how many features are stuffed into that productivity suite and how they are seamlessly integrated, how it's a frictionless system. So that's what we just wanted to have you look at and to find how it's working. So how can you make sure that your organization, that your company, that your enterprise can make use of this? We at Devo Team, we think you need some change management to do so. Not only change management after the change, after the transformation, you will also need some extra investment to be sure that adoption of those tools is increasing. Because Google is not having a status quo. We have every week, every 2 weeks, every 3 weeks, we have new features launching. And to be up to date, you need some programs that helps you to be updated as a company, as an organization. So let's talk about some change management ideas, change management concepts that we at Devo Team G-Cloud are familiar with and we like to use when talking to our customers. New tools need change management. We are really convinced that this is absolute best practice to do. A first concept we use is a pro-sci concept, and actually it's called ADKAR. People who are already familiar with change management programs are probably aware of it. It's a 5-letter word that helps us to understand what are the needs and what are the topics we need the customer to deal with. The first one is the A for awareness. We want the users, the future users, or even the existing users to be aware of why change is needed and what is going to happen if you don't change, because change has always both sides. You can do it or you cannot do it. You can choose for it. So that's a first important topic. A second one is about desire. What is the individual motivation of users to change? What is in it for them? What will be the benefits of them? What will be the advantages of them? So it's very important that we will work on that idea to have all users in collaboration to this change program. A third one is about knowledge. Does the organization know how to implement the change? Have they the specific knowledge to do so? And a fourth one is more about skills, is more about the ability. Do they have the capability to implement the change, and are they able to do so? Do they have the right skills to do it? And then the last one is the R, is about reinforcement. We don't want change to be a one-time practice. No, I think it's really an ongoing effort to ensure that the efforts you are doing have a long-term result. So those 5-letter words is for us the base of our change management methodology. And through change programs, transformation programs, we are always working on 4 pillars because we believe, and it is a best practice, I think, after years of experiments, that those 4 pillars are really necessary to understand and to work on transformation programs. So the first one is about understanding the customer, understanding what will be the change impact for the organization, what will be the opportunities for transformation for your company, for your enterprise. And we want to understand by asking questions. So we will ask questions like, how did you do past change projects? What were the results? What is your culture? Are people willing to invest in change, or will there be a lot of resistance? What would be potential risks? Maybe there are some other programs in place we can synergy with. We will ask a lot of questions to the organization to be sure that we fully understand the user group also. What will be the different user groups? A second one will be about sponsorship. Who do we need to talk to? Who will be maybe an ambassador for our program? Who can help us, the other users, to transform? Who will be the main project sponsor? Because we cannot do change without management. We need them as partners in this project. So who is going to be the influencers of this organization? Who will we have to talk to? And then the third pillar is about communication. You cannot do proper change without communication. Communication will be key. And two very important messages will be the why do we do the change? What is the reason your organization wants to do the change? And also, what is in it for me as a user? What will be the benefits for me as a user? What will be the advantages? So we will have to discuss and to check with the customer what are the right channels to use. It can be by mail, it can be a site, it can be any kind of communication, even posters. So we will try to find the right and probably a mix of channels to be sure that we have the right channels. Probably we're also going to create a real branding for your program, because it is marketing, it's about marketing. We need people to invest in change, so we need them to be on board. We will try to find a project name, a slogan, maybe organize some events when the change has launched. We really want to make something big of it, because we want them to remember that moment. And then the last, but for sure not the least topic in the pillars or the way we are working is about training. We want people to have the right skills to use their new tools. We will give them Gmail, Google Calendar, Google Drive, and we want them to be able to use them in the best way possible. So we will ask organizations questions like, how is training done today? How do you do it? What training format do you use? Do we do everything remote, or can we move on to the on-site trainings? Yes, please. Or maybe there are other ways, like videos that we can prepare or other options. Maybe we first need to understand the need. Maybe we have to do a readiness survey to understand what are the training needs for the user groups, and so on. And we will also ask and discuss with our customers how will new users will be onboarded using those new tools. Maybe they already used it before, but maybe not. So they need to be trained when onboarded to be sure that they can fully use those tools. That's what I wanted to talk. So this is a first set of actions we do when we are onboarding customers to Google Workspace. But it's not finished then, because we do believe that you need to increase your return on investment by having a better adoption. And I have Charlotte here with me, who is going to explain you everything about that. Charlotte.
Thank you, Hans, for the introduction. So as Hans said, here we are in the second part of the, let's say, project. If we have the first phase, which is change management, then we have a second phase, which is actually customer success management. And we are going to focus actually on the R of ADKAR reinforcement. So there is really a huge part of ADKAR that is actually after your go live, after the moment where people are adopting your tools, which is the reinforcement, and is actually really important because it's going to be basically the basis of all the upcoming years, right? So basically, when we do a change and we reach that point which we call the global live moment, where the users are finally on Google, there is a whole excitement around it. You know, we make it an event, we make it a happy moment, whether it's sharing cake or having an event. As you can see here on the picture, we have a ball pit. This was a go live at Carrefour. It was a very happy moment. But the question here is not about that go live, where basically everybody is happy. It's what happens afterwards. What happens 1 year or two later? Well, what we notice is actually that there is a drop after the go live, because, you know, it's just like adopting a puppy. The first days you're super happy, but then the puppy grows and then you have to take it out and it's raining and it's snowing and actually you don't want to take it out anymore. So here it's basically the same with the new tools. There is a whole phase where you're happy and then there is a drop because there is nothing new about it anymore. And then we see that it goes up again slightly. Why? Because people discover new ways to use the tools, but just enough to finish their tasks, to do their tasks in a more productive way. And then you have that sort of plateau that you see completely on the right of the slide. And how can we explain this drop and this plateau? Well, basically, you know, in a company, people come and leave. So you have a lot of people that joined the company. They weren't part of that global go live moment where everybody was happy. They didn't discover the tools at the same time. They arrive, maybe the onboarding is not done well. So basically, you see that there is a decrease. And here, with reinforcement, our goal is actually to stop that plateau effect. And here in this slide, the idea is to present you 3 solutions that we can put in place. Of course, customer success management is not only about this, but this is mainly what we can do from a change management perspective. So first of all, we have administrative training. Here is the focus is actually on your administration team. So, you know, if you have your team of Google admins and they're also running all other services and tools that are used at your company, you want them to be up to date. They need to be aware of all the new features that they could roll out to the users. So this is something that we can participate and really train your admins so that they are able to run the applications at their best. Second, we have the onboarding process or training. So as I said, we have a drop after the go live. Why? Because we have new people joining. They were not part of the training phase. They were not part of the excitement. So they need really to be accompanied to be able to use the tools. So here again, you have all that training material, but it needs to be updated. You cannot just leave it there on a knowledge base. You need to keep it updated. Why? Because Google evolves every day. So as Hans said. So here again, the idea is really to keep the training material up to date so that your users, new and already existing, can still be engaged and learning new tips and tricks. And then the last one, here we're talking about social engagement. As Hans said, there is a whole part about sponsorship in a change management project. There is that part about ambassadors. Well, that network of ambassadors, you shouldn't let it just go away after the project. You should really try to sustain that network. Why? Because they can really keep on guiding your users. They can really be part of a network or community where they exchange tips and tricks in order for the new and already existing users to be aware of those new features. And thanks to this, thanks to learning new tips and tricks, you're going to keep your engagement high. Because what we want is really to break down that plateau effect that you can see here on the right side of the slide. The goal is really to keep that adoption high. And we believe, and we have seen actually for some customers that we were able with customer success services or management to increase the adoption by 80%. So that's actually a lot. And it's not only adoption here, we are also talking about productivity. The better you know your tools, the better you can work with them. I don't know if you have anything else to add, but I think it's time for questions actually.
You still have some time.
Yes.
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
And how does you get the requirement from the customer data that if there is some change matters requires for the customer to go live for their particular project? So how do you get the requirement from the customer data?
From the customer data.
Maybe
That's,
we have to repeat the question because.
How do you gather the?
See, if a customer, see, you have some more. You have already you have Google Workspace.
Yes.
Right. So like you have Google emails, and you have organization emails, and you have to-do list and everything. But customer is asking for one more requirement.
Yes.
And which is not there in the platform.
So it's not. It's something that they use
Yes.
currently, and it's not part of the platform.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, most of the time we are able to always find a solution with Google Workspace, of course. Otherwise, we will have to think about a workaround. But also, there is a whole process of what we call, remediation. So there are apps and tools that are used internally that we are not going to move immediately, that we cannot connect immediately to Google Workspace. So this is part of a last phase, let's call it like that, remediation, where we're going to talk to the business, to the teams that are using those apps, and we are going to try to find a way to connect the tools, or maybe find another tool that is working with Google Workspace. So yeah, that's also indeed a third phase, let's say it.
Because there are some compatibility issues, compared to Microsoft apps and with the Google apps.
Exactly, yeah.
That is what, because of that, right, customers might know they have to use both the cloud platforms.
Yes.
So how can we synchronize, going out of the customers who is going out of Google and entering into the Microsoft? So that is what is my question is all.
Yeah, that takes some time. You will be in a hybrid phase for some time, but not everybody. The majority of your business will be completely on Google, and then you have the exceptions. We can maybe think about HR, finance. They will be in a hybrid situation until we get to that remediation phase where we really focus on them separately. I have here an example, which I'm thinking of. At Carrefour, we had a team of architects that are using a couple of tools, and now they are fully on Google, but it took, I think, 3 months to get there. So by talking with them and then doing a proper migration specifically for them. So yeah. Yes?
Is there somewhere like a good starting point documentation on how to get started with Google Workspace? Because I came in more than a year and a half ago from really like a Microsoft-oriented company, came into Google Workspace, and still to this day I'm still using PowerPoint and a lot of the Microsoft tools, and I'm still struggling to get like adopted to the Google Workspace.
I think it's going to be funny what I'm going to answer, but just Google it. This is the best advice I got when I started at Devo Team G Cloud. No, for real. The Learning Center from Google that is online for free is really a great starting point. You can also just ask your question. There is a search bar specifically for those questions. You have a lot of YouTube videos that we also made that are available on YouTube. And then, if I'm not mistaken, even on that Learning Center which I was talking about, you have a sort of first steps in Google, which maybe help.
And maybe to continue there, I think it's a good question actually, because I think a lot of customers struggle with that. Hiring a partner to help is also a good solution. We are experts, there are a lot of experts that are in the field that can help you to detect where we can increase adoption. It can be anything. It can be with training, it can be with workshops, it can be with transformation labs. So we have a lot of tools that can help customers to increase that adoption. So hiring a specialist can also be a solution.
Because I see a lot of tools that we're using on this around Google. So we're using Zoom, Slack.
Yeah.
A lot of
So maybe
Exactly.
the implementation was not done fully. You're still in a hybrid situation, maybe.
Yeah, well, we're probably not fully
There yet.
adopting yet, but I don't think anyone is fully aware of the possibilities we have, and we're not leveraging.
Exactly.
That's
so
normal.
It can be interesting to hire an expert and to discover what is your actual situation now, and to see in what way we can help you to go to the next level. This is about the next level, so there we can help you probably. Yeah.
Yes. One slide back. This one?
So here you explain the two phases, wherein onboarding customers into Google Cloud is a challenge, and then retaining the customer after a point of time is another challenge. Because the reason why I'm asking this question is because it's almost same what you asked, because I work for an organization where they completely use most of the Microsoft tools, and they are looking into an evolution into a cloud, and that's the point wherein you can get fetching customers, right? So which part is more difficult for you, like whether it is pulling customers into Google Cloud or retaining a customer after a point of time? Because since you might have faced lots of customers,
Yeah.
which part was more challenging?
I think so. The reinforcement part, if you don't do it immediately, of course, it's going to be harder to go from here back there instead of starting immediately after the go live, right? But I think that if you start your change management at the beginning of your project, when you start to think about implementing Google Workspace, and you really do the whole process that Hans explained with the ADKAR, with the sponsorship and everything, normally, well, that's what we hope and we believe in, and we saw the adoption goes well. And if you add after that immediately customer success management, then you stay on that nice curve that goes up continuously. But yeah, I would say that I think if you start your reinforcement too late, then going back up is much more work because you're already low, right? But I think on change management,
And I think both phases are equally,
Yeah,
they have the
you have
same
to
value.
invest.
For me, they have the same value. I think the one cannot live without the other one. And it should be like a logic consequence of choosing the change management program and the customer success program. I think they are both equally. I think we have to stop here because we have
right on time.
a 5 minute. Oh, we still have 4 minutes. So if there are questions, please feel free. Not anymore. Okay,
Well,
you can announce.
Thank you for listening to us.